So, thank you for coming. I started my non-toxic journey about, let's see, 7 years ago, and it was forced upon me. Like, if you know me at all, my mom tried to get me to use some, make some swaps to non-toxic products, and I was really fighting her about it. And she just kind of forced it on me. And so when I switched over to using these products, I really didn't care that they were non-toxic. That really wasn't a concern of mine at the time. I just loved that they saved me time and money. Um, but as I started using them, I started learning more about chemicals, and I was really shocked. And when you learn something, like something, you can't unknow it. So once I started learning these things, then it became more and more important to me. And then I realized that there are a lot of people out there that don't know this. And so that's when I started sharing it. Um, what prompted this chat was the other day I was walking Madison into school, and there were some kids in front of me. They were probably about 20 feet in front of us, so it's not like we were right behind them, but I could smell their laundry detergent as we were walking in, and that smell used to be a comforting smell to me. I used to, I'd be folding the towels and I'd be huffing the towels. That used to be a comforting smell to me. And as we were walking in the other day, I felt really sad. And I felt sad because I knew that those kids were going to be sitting in that cloud of smell, of chemicals, all day long at school, and the kids around them were going to be sitting in that. And it just really made me sad, and I thought I hadn't talked about this in a while, and so I wanted to jump on and just do a quick a little laundry hack tip class here. So let me see, I have some notes here so I stay on track. So my goal tonight is to kind of take you, give you some education, let you know about some of the things that are in your detergent that no one is telling you about, give you some tips and tricks to make your laundry a little bit cleaner, and maybe save you some time and money. So I'm going to be sharing with you the products that I have switched over to and am using, but these you can switch to other, you can use some of these tips and tricks without using the products that I'm using. So I just wanted to make that clear. So one of the things that really got me in the non-toxic, that was like, I really need to make some changes. I was talking to this woman and she said, well, your detergent isn't safe for you, right? And then she's going on, and I said, I don't think I do know that. And at the time, Madison was a newborn baby. She was about 6 months old. And she said, do you use special baby detergent for your baby? Tell me in the chat, did you use different detergent when your kids were babies? Of course, right? I mean, maybe not, but I did. I got a bunch at my baby shower. So I used those special baby detergents. And she said, well, why do you do that? Because your regular detergent isn't safe to use on your baby. And she said, if it isn't safe to use on your baby, then it isn't safe for your 10-year-old, and it isn't safe for anyone else in your house. And that was kind of my epiphany moment. And I was like, oh, I don't think I heard anything else she said after that, because I was just reeling in my head, what do you mean? Why isn't it safe to be on my baby? Nobody really talked about that before. It was just that you had to buy a special detergent for your baby. So I went home and I started doing research. And one of the big things is it are those fragrances. So in the United States, well, first of all, let's say at that time, I thought that if they sold something in a grocery store, someone somewhere was checking that it was safe for me and my family to use, right? And I found out that's not true. laundry detergent isn't regulated by anyone. So there are 11 chemicals banned in the United States from being used in products in our homes. 11. In Europe, it's like hundreds. They have banned hundreds of chemicals in Europe, and the company that I work with has banned thousands of chemicals from being used. So 11 seems like we're a little behind the times here. So on top of those 11 chemicals, only 11 chemicals that aren't allowed. There's also loopholes in the US for a lot of products, most products. So that's going to be the fragrance loophole. So anytime you see the word fragrance on an ingredient list, that is, they can put anything in there. So that is like a trade secret. They don't have to tell what is in their fragrance. So it can be like their signature scent. And so what companies do is any of those ingredients that they don't want to list on that label, because if you're taking the time to read labels and you might be like, oh, I don't want that in my detergent or in my skincare or in my whatever you're using, they throw that and they say, oh no, we use that for fragrance. And so they throw that under the fragrance loophole, and all it has to say is fragrance there. So even when they know that those chemicals are bad, oftentimes when those products are tested, those fragrance chemicals are found to be not only harmful to your respiratory, but they're found to be hormone disruptors, which is a big deal. Well, I don't know about you, but everyone my age group is talking about their hormones, and I'm like, okay, our bodies are changing. We have hormone changes going on, but let's take out some of the stuff that's also affecting our hormones. Another thing that happens with detergents is they have what we call ghost ingredients. So they aren't necessarily chemicals that the companies put in there. So they don't have to label them at all because they're not putting them in there. But what happens is there's chemical reactions happening between 2 or 3 or 4 of their ingredients in there, and they are creating a chemical compound when they're all mixed together. But because they weren't put in there, they don't have to claim that. So one of those things is going to be 1,4-dioxane. So that is a ghost byproduct of the other chemicals used in a lot of detergents. You may have seen New York banned, maybe about a year or 2 years ago, they banned a ton of detergents. Top name brand detergents have been banned in New York because they had 1,4-dioxane in them. Even though they were not actively putting them in, they were a ghost byproduct. So good job, New York, by the way. These are often found in optical brighteners, which a lot of detergents are like, they're like, yeah, we have optical brighteners in this to make your whites look whiter, your brights look brighter. What an optical brightener is it's actually a chemical that is in the detergent. It's made to coat your fibers, your clothes, with chemicals that stay on there. They don't come off. And what it does is it reflects back blue light so that it tricks your eye to think that it looks clean. So they're not making sure that your clothes are clean. They're tricking your eyes into thinking they're clean. So I had some of my boot camp ladies soak some clean gym clothes the other day, clean, like they were washed clean, had them soak. I can't wait to show you guys some of the dirty water that they showed me that when they soaked in the detergent, it came out. Because although you think it's clean, it's not really clean. Let's see. All right, so that's my little spiel on detergent. Now I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. So one is stain remover. So I really like this enzyme stain remover. It has it's plant-based, so it does not have a bunch of yucky chemicals in it. It's biodegradable, safe for the environment, safe for your skin, safe for your gentle laundry, but it has enzymes in there instead of the chemicals. And what they do is they go in and they start eating up all the organic material in there. So sweat, stains, food stains, coffee stains, grass stains, anything organic. So they get to work eating that up. And this is going to be my tip for the stain remover. One, when you're taking out stains, you always want to get the stain wet first. You want to get it wet so that your stain remover can really activate. So I don't know about you, but a lot of times I used to just have be in my laundry room. I'd give something a quick spray, throw it in the wash, and that was it. You want to get it wet first. You want to put that stain remover in, and then you want to rub it in. And you don't want to rub it in. You don't want to chafe the fibers. So you want to use something really soft. I use my finger. Sometimes 2 fingers if it's a big stain, but you're going to get the clothes or whatever it is wet. Then you are going to put your stain remover on there, and then you're going to rub it in. You're going to give it a good rub, and then what I like to do is ball it up and let it sit somewhere. So get it wet, get that detergent in there. If it's a really nasty stain, you could also take some of your powder detergent, sprinkle it on that wet stain remover, and then make a little paste in it. And that's going to be like your superpower stain remover. So ball it up, leave it for a while, right? Throw it in the washer, but don't start the wash right away. Let it sit an hour or two, let those enzymes really get to working in there, and then run the load. My next thing is, so I gave up those scented detergents, and sometimes I miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be dryer sheets, fabric softener, scent beads. Like I used to do it all. So you don't have to give up every scent. We do have the liquid laundry detergent, comes in lavender or scent free. But it's made with natural fragrances. It's not made with those synthetic chemical fragrances. And then same with the Eco Wash sheets. So you use these instead of, do I have this open? I think I put them away. I'll clean my desk and put everything away. I can open this, I guess. So these are like, instead of pods, they're just sheets. They come like this. This is actually 2 loads. They're perforated. So this would be 1 load. You just throw this in. I love these for traveling. I take these when we travel all the time. If we're staying in an Airbnb, I throw a few of these in a plastic baggie. They take up absolutely no room. But these have a very light scent. You also can use some of our odor eliminator. So I know a lot of you use this in a spray bottle, like, you put it in a spray bottle with some water and you can spray this around your home instead of an air freshener, but you can actually take a capful of this and put it right into your fabric softener section, right? We don't use fabric softener. Get rid of the fabric softener. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything except for bad things. So it coats your clothes. It makes your clothes not last as long. It gets that crunchy feeling. That's like the fabric is coated in fabric softener. So get rid of that. You can throw this in the fabric softener section. I don't use this a lot, only if it's like a pretty stinky load. That is my next tip. Or you can add a few essential oils. You can pick whatever essential oil scent you like. Put a couple of drops on your dryer balls And I like to just do that at the end of the load. So I run the load, let it go. At the end of the load, I throw some essential oils on here, and then I just run it for a couple minutes on the air fluff. It's like no heat, whatever that um, whatever that cycle is. That way you're not burning off those essential oils. It's super light scent. It's not super heavy that way. People ask me all the time, is there going to be oil on my clothes? No, that's never happened to me. If you don't know about dryer balls, so these replace dryer sheets. I stopped using dryer sheets 15 years ago. Yeah, about 15 years ago. Matt's doctor told us to stop using them. He was like, they're awful for you. Stop using them. They're actually one of the most toxic things in your home, especially for air pollution. Crazy. So he told us 15 years ago, stop using them. So we just didn't use anything for years. We just dried our clothes. It was fine. But I started using these about 7 years ago. These are really high quality ones. They're New Zealand wool. They're New Zealand wool all the way to the core. So I had gotten some cheap ones and they came unraveled really quickly. And there was like a cardboard ball in the center. These are all the way through. They're felted all the way through. They're New Zealand wool, which if you know anything about New Zealand wool, like they have really strict guidelines on like how they treat their sheep and how they're sheared, and so super high quality. But the nice thing about these, this is another tip, you can use the essential oils on them to scent your laundry, but also these are going to save you a lot of money on your electricity. So what these do is these help fluff and separate the load as it's drying, which means that your load doesn't take as long to dry. These are super quiet compared to like those plastic ones that they make. And a lot of people ask me about static. They're like, oh, I have a lot of static. That's probably because you're over drying your laundry. When you're using these can reduce your load, like how long it takes to dry, by 25%. So you're probably just drying it either a little too long or a little too hot. So you can kind of adjust those temperatures and adjust the time a little bit, and then you should see a lot less static. You also can stick a safety pin right on here, clip a safety pin on, and the safety pin will actually like discharge any electric static that gets built up in your dryer. So that works really well too. And what else? I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, my dryer balls are 7 years old. So these dryer balls come with a 2-year warranty. Mine are 7 years old. I have 5 in my dryer. If you know, these come in sets of 3, but my dog got one and he really did a number on it. So I lost one. But if you do have them for longer and they start, like this one looks really good. This one's got a nice tight weave on it. But if they are starting to, kind of fall apart, they kind of defelt sometimes. All you're going to do is you're going to stick them in like a tight sock or an old pantyhose or something like that. Throw it in the washer with your wash. Let it, bounce around in there. It'll refelt, and then stick it back in the dryer, and it'll be recharged, if you will. So that's how you're going to keep your dryer balls nice and tight and keeping everything fluffing for you. So do you guys have any questions for me really quickly? Okay. I'll let you throw some questions in the chat if you have any. But if you are interested in switching up your laundry, hi Christine, can you put it in the chat instead of raising your hand? Can you see where that is? It's like a little chat bubble, like a little talk bubble. It's really important that's okay, Christine. It's It's really important if you want to reduce the chemicals in your life. Laundry is a fantastic place to start because our laundry is pretty much on our skin 24/7. I think it's on our clothes, it's on our sheets that we're sleeping in, it's in our towels that we're drying our bodies off after our showers. So this is a really great place to start to reduce a ton of chemicals out of your life, out of your body burden. With really simple switches, right? So for us, we have our company, we have 3 different detergents. We have, so you can choose a powder, a liquid, those sheets. We have the dryer balls. You just stop using fabric softener, stop using your dryer sheets, throw these in. That's it. You never have to buy them, 7 years. I figured out I've saved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on dryer sheets by buying one set of dryer balls. Oh, I didn't even show you guys a science experiment. I'm running out of time here. I'm a little over. I said this is going to be science. So I have this glass of water and I have some iodine. So I wanted to show you how these enzymes really work. So I'm going to put a good amount in. You see that? And then I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the Powerzyme. So this is actually a newer product. Some of you might use the Ultra Power Plus, which is older. This is going to be enzyme based. And then it's also got the oxy power of the Bright and White that we use instead of bleach. And it has the cleaning power of the UPP. So it's kind of like an all-in-one. And this is what I use on our everyday laundry. I probably don't even need this much. We all know too much laundry detergent is a no, not good, right? Less is more when it comes to detergent. Okay, let's see if I can do this. See if it works. Okay, so you can see those enzymes going right to town, eating up that iodine. So that is why you want to be using an enzyme-based detergent and not just a soap-based detergent, because it goes right in there and eats up all that blood, stain, sweat, oils. You can see that just did that in seconds. So imagine, a load, a 45-minute load or whatever. Okay. Let me check the chat again. High capacity washer and use the enzyme powder. Christine, is it